Hello all, and welcome back to round 2 of the Collector's Store League Challenge happening in St. Peters, Missouri. My name is Leonard Kraft, and this round will be featuring 2 players at 1-0, Erika versus Will. I do not have perspectives yet. I'm not sure who's on the stream perspective right now. We'll find out that in a bit. So it looks like both players are getting set up and getting ready. Once that happens, we'll be getting into the game. Oh, it looks like I've got confirmation that Erika is on stream perspective, so I've got all the names right, so that'll be excellent. Players, again, are getting set up right now. While we wait for the players to get ready, we'll go ahead and talk about the teams that each is bringing. So if you liked Zacian-Crowned last round, then you'll like it again this round. We do have Zacian-Crowned coming from Will. This time, the Zacian is running a really cool set. I actually like it a lot. It's running a set of Behemoth Blade, Play Rough, and Terra Blast with a ground Terra type. Last round we saw that Zacian with Swords Dance and Play Rough in Close Combat. This one does not have a fighting attack. It does have Play Rough, instead having that Terra Blast ground. We also see a lot of really offensive picks here from Will. Will's team is rounded out with a Regidrago, a Tornadus incarnate form, a Rapid-Strike Urshifu, an Indeedee-Female, and a Heartflame Ogerpon. Okay, I was looking at the team sheet. I was like, does it not have another move? But no, the team sheet's just a little bit off. Really offensive combinations here from Will. Will is looking to set up Tailwind and blast through his opponent's teams. Which will be extremely effective. Erika, on the other hand, is running a Koraidon team, also with Tailwind, having a Tornadus with the Prankster ability. Koraidon here will be okay into the Zacian. The Zacian and Koraidon will have an interesting dynamic. Zacian can outspeed Koraidon and pick up a 1-hit KO with Play Rough, but the Koraidon can Terra Fire in order to counter that. But Zacian can Terra Ground and use Terra Blast in order to counter the Koraidon's Terrestrialization, so I'm sure we're going to have a really interesting dynamic there. Rounding out Erika's team, we have a Dark-type Urshifu, the Single-Strike form. We have Chi-Yu and Flutter main, classic combinations of Pokemon for pairing with Koraidon. Both Pokemon are really good together, and both get benefited by the sun, so it's just a strong combination overall. Rounding out the team, we also see an Assault Vest Rillaboom. So, going to be a really high-octane offensive match here. That's what I would expect from both players. Both of these players are likely very inclined to want to set Tailwind with their Tornadus. If you let your speed control slip away from you, I think you're going to hit a whole lot of problems really fast. Will potentially has the option of setting Trick Room in order to get around that. The Indeedee does have Trick Room. It's likely that this Indeedee is for opposing Trick Room, given that, we've got a Choice Scarf Urshifu, a Tornadus, a Zacian-Crowned, a Heartflame Ogerpon. All those Pokemon are really fast, but Trick Room could potentially give Will the edge in this Tailwind Mirror match. If Tailwind goes up on Erika's side, but Trick Room goes up on Will's side, potentially the speed dynamic could still be in Will's favor. So I'll have to see how this one goes. Just intuitively, I would say that Will has the matchup here. Usually if you see 2 Tailwind teams, usually it depends on which Pokemon are going to be faster among those. And the Zacian being faster than both the Koraidon and the Chi-Yu is really important. The Urshifu-Single-Strike will be felled in 1 Play Rough. It's a stellar Single-Strike Urshifu as well, so it can't terrestrialize defensively versus that fiery type attack. So I think this game will come down to how well each side can use their Tailwind. But let's kick it off. We got Swiss round 2. Let's see how the leads are. So to start off, we've got Tornadus and Zacian-Crowned versus Tornadus and Chi-Yu. So immediately Will putting his Zacian on the board. This is threatening heavy damage. I imagine that a Play Rough will probably knock out the Chi-Yu. A Terra Ground Terra Blast will probably get the job done too, even if the Chi-Yu goes for a Terrestrialization. Both are likely to set Tailwind here. The Tornadus on both sides do carry Taunt, so if you're feeling confident that you're the faster Torn, you could go for that Taunt and prevent the opposing one from going for Tailwind, but Erika really needs to make sure they get this turn right. Let's see what happens to start off with. It actually is at Terra Ground on Zacian, so likely going to be a Terra Ground Terra Blast thrown that Chiyu's way. Chiyu has good special bulk, but not very good physical bulk. I imagine even if the Chiyu terrestrializes to a ghost type, it's still going to take a whole heap and lot of damage. But we'll have to see. And there is that terrestrialization from the Chiyu as well. That Terra Ghost, so useful at blocking Fake Out and fighting type attacks, but no fighting type attacks from the Zacian. We do see a taunt come out from Will's Tornadus into Erika's Tornadus, preventing it from going for the Tailwind, and that's going to be huge. This Zacian is now going to deal a whole heap and lot of damage with this Terra Blast. Let's see how much this Terra Ground Terra Blast does. A physical attack thanks to the terrestrialization. It's a 1-hit KO that she stood no chance. Down it goes. And that's a huge turn for Will. Will gets, I think, exactly what he was hoping for. Sending up Taunt onto the Tornadus now means that Will has a free Tailwind. There's absolutely nothing that Erika can do to stop that. The Tornadus on Erika's side is, yeah, like, again, can't use Tailwind because the Taunt is forced to use Bleakwind Storm, which is not really going to help you that much here. The Flutter main does hold the Focus Sash, so it will be able to survive one hit, but, oh, we see a Trick Room option hovered. I didn't actually think about this, so, yeah, there's that Tailwind going up. How I was talking about before, how Will could potentially use Trick Room on Indeedee to reverse those speed dynamics. It looks like Erika's found the exact same way to do it, with Sash Flutter main going for the Trick Room. That Imprison Trick Room combination is likely not there for setting Trick Room yourself, but for preventing the opposing Trick Room. But against this Tailwind Tornadus, the dimensions have now been flipped. It's now Erika's speed control. That's what's in effect. A Bleakwind Storm did miss that Zacian, which does matter. A Bleakwind Storm and Moonblast, plus another Bleakwind Storm, probably would have got this Zacian. I don't anticipate that a Moonblast and Bleakwind Storm by themselves will pick up the knockout. And now Will is probably very likely to go for a defensive play with the Zacian. Not only will I get knocked out in one hit, I doubt, yeah, exactly, that this Zacian wants to just lose all that health for free. Bleakwind Storm does come out. Let's see if it lands into the opposing Tornadus. If it does, then that'll be more damage on it, but nope, a miss. So Bleakwind Storm not being very accurate for Erika right now. And Moonblast does whiff into Protect as well, so no damage this turn for Erika. Let's see what Will does in response. It is just a Bleakwind Storm, but it misses the 1 HP Flutter main, so that will deal some damage to Tornadus, but not enough. Tornadus on Erika's side does shake off the taunt, but that doesn't really do anything right now. Yeah, you don't want to set Sunny Day. Sunny Day would not be especially useful in this board. It would actually increase the Flutter main speed. You don't want that to happen. But actually, I think we saw there the lock of a taunt into the opposing Tornadus. I don't really know what that accomplishes for you there. The Tornadus on the opposing side's options are Bleakwind Storm, Tailwind, Rain Dance, and Taunt. So this will prevent a taunt in the future. Potentially will stop a later Tailwind, but I don't know. I mean, the downside of doing this play is that Dazzling Gleam, yeah, it's not going to do enough to either of these Pokemon. And it looks like there was no status move click, just a Bleakwind Storm. That's going to be enough to knock out the 1 HP Flutter main. So Bleakwind Storm's missing all around, but I imagine this Zacian will be able to pick up the remaining bit of Tornadus' health with this Behemoth Blade. Let's see what happens. Slash! Tornadus looks like it took a whole lot of damage from that, and yeah, a critical hit to boot. No chance there from the Tornadus. Getting felled for sure there with that critical hit. Dealing a little bit of damage in return with the Rocky Helmet, but I don't think this Koraidon's going to be able to do enough on its own. Koraidon does have speed advantage here. It will be able to threaten a knockout onto the Zacian, but then what? There's still 2 more Pokemon on Will's side that you haven't even seen, and that's huge. One of the most important things in a best of 3 is kind of having an idea of your opponent's game plan so you can adapt appropriately, and if all you saw are leads, then that could be devastatingly bad. If the Bleakwind Storm connects on Koraidon, it might do enough to pick up a KO, and if and Play Rough will surely do enough, so it's kind of tricky. If you can't get this KO onto one of the Pokemon and you just get O-Code in return, then you'll have seen no information from Will on any of Will's back Pokemon. But it looks like Will's going to give it anyway. Decides that there's a smarter way to win than just attacking. It looks like this is probably... Oh, Regidrago coming out, actually. Koraidon does Protect, so not going to get anything out of this turn. Let's see what Zacian attempts to do. Just protect itself, yeah. Thinking that it was under pressure Now this Regidrago, because Tailwind has petered out and Trick Room is up, that will threaten a 1-hit KO onto the Koraidon. And we see the Koraidon attempting to go for a double protect. Even if this succeeds, I don't think it will change the impact of the game, or change the outcome of the game. Because at this point, the Zacian will be faster than the Koraidon. We'll be able to just use Play Rough and pick up like a knockout. And actually, I really like this play from Will, going into Tornadus. That's not Tornadus, is it? It's Urshifu, okay. I thought Tornadus maybe would have come in there on the last turn of Trick Room. Then you can do a Tailwind Dragon Energy play. You wouldn't reveal your last Pokemon, but Will's saying, you didn't have my last Pokemon. You don't need to worry about that. I got Urshifu. Urshifu will do just fine, right? The one downside of this play is potentially maybe Koraidon getting a Flame Charge up, but yeah, you have to knock out the Regidrago in a single attack here. Dragon Energy, even if it's at reduced health, is still going to do a chunk of damage to the Koraidon. Yeah, Urshifu also outspeeds, going for close combat, dealing well over 50% to the Koraidon. So Koraidon did not target the Urshifu, so this will definitely be a good game. The only question is if it's going to be this turn or next turn. A Collision Course lands into Regidrago. You get to see how much damage this does. Not bad, not bad. Doesn't even click Dragon Energy, though. Draco Meteor will finish the job, so. I think Will potentially could have wrapped this one up without revealing as many Pokemon, but nevertheless, a clean, comfortable win. By using Tornadus and Zacian and immediately pressuring speed control, like, it was just so hard for Erika to come back. Erika lost a complete Pokemon and 99% of Fluttermane's HP just to get up speed control. And from there, there were just too many healthy Pokemon on Will's side. Zacian probably would have needed to go down to a combination attack, but it would have been pretty hard to, I think, position that. So Will there, starting off game one really effectively, and I imagine Will is probably not going to change too much for the second game. The alternative options that Will could have brought would potentially be that Heartflame Ogerpon or the female Indeedee. Heartflame Ogerpon could potentially be useful, using Follow Me to redirect away a lot of the single target attacks that Erika has. And Ogerpon is also faster than, I guess, Chi-Yu. That's the only thing it's really faster than. So I do like the Rapid Strike Urshifu coming out from Will's side, even though there's a Koraidon on the opponent's team. The Surging Strikes in the Sun is still going to do a lot of damage to Chi-Yu. And close combat, as we saw, outsped the Koraidon and still did a chunk of damage. So there could be a position where you've dealt maybe 40% to the Koraidon, and now Urshifu can pick up the rest with close combat. So we're waiting for both players here to lock in here for game two. And I think really the big question is, how does Erika adjust? So Erika now sees that their Tornadus is slower than the opposing Tornadus. Erika doesn't have a Terra Dark on Tornadus, so can't use Terrestrialization to block that Prankster taunt. But again, even if both Tailwinds go up, you saw that Will consistently had the faster Pokemon. So perhaps there is an angle of trying to use Fluttermane to get up Trick Room and going about it that way, but I don't know, that feels like it's pretty risky. You can't just lead Fluttermane into Zacian and Tornadus. There's a whole lot of things that can go wrong with that. Taunt could come out into the Fluttermane. You could see a just double target with Behemoth Blade and Bleak Windstorm. There's also just trouble that you could encounter by doing that. So it looks like we're seeing potentially an adjustment of Koraidon up front. Again, Koraidon versus Zacian is an interesting dynamic because the Zacian has the ability to knock out the Koraidon in one hit, but with Terrestrialization, we'll have to make those calls right, or wait for the Terrestrialization from Zacian, or excuse me, wait for the Terrestrialization from Koraidon before committing with his own Zacian. So it looks like we're thinking out here a Koraidon Tornadus lead. Again, the issue with that is you're going to be playing Terra Chicken, so we just have to be really careful in what ends up happening, but we'll see. Looks like we got a little bit of lag on our side. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Hopefully the quality will be pristine as usual. It's been pretty good so far. So let's hope that stays that same way. So game one's over. Game two's here. How's Erika going to adjust? Zacian and Tornadus again for Will. Koraidon and Tornadus. So we've got Tornadus paired up with the restricted legendary. Let's see how much these two powerful Pokemon, these two powerful box legendaries of two respective games can do to each other. Again, this whole turn is like real tricky. Like, what do you go for? Is Zacian going to go for the Ground Terra Blast? Is Zacian going to go for Play Rough? Is Zacian going to play it safe and go for Protect? Can you take advantage of that and go for a Tailwind and Flame Charge into the Tornadus? Doing Flame Charge into Tornadus and getting your own Tailwind up could potentially give you a speed advantage that way. Is this going to be a Protect Taunt? There's a lot of tricky options here, and I don't think there's a clear best option for anybody. Zacian does go for the Protect, though. That's the safest play available. Let's see what the Tornadus responds with. Is this another Tailwind? Oh, Rain Dance. Oh, that's a clever way of going about it. By using Rain Dance, it means that the Bleak Wind Storms are accurate, and it means that the Koraidon is taking a whole lot less damage. I think actually Zacian could probably safely attack here. Bleak Wind Storm does land into its Tornadus. Let's see if there's a speed drop. No speed drop. So Taunt is still on the table to prevent the opposing Tailwind. We're still kind of got the same position where you could go for the Play Rough, you could go for the Ground Terra Blast. Looks like Koraidon's going to protect this turn. No committal of the Terrestrialization from Will's side, so probably a Tailwind and Play Rough if I had to guess. A prediction here on the Koraidon's Protect could be huge with Behemoth Blade and Tornadus, but we do actually see the Sunny Day from Tornadus, so both Tornadus showing their weather aficionado, reversing the weather conditions for each side, but I don't know if the Sunny Day isn't as impactful as the Rain Dance could potentially be. That basically resets it to what it was before. But now, what do? There's still a Rain Dance that could come out, right? Although I suppose you could do Sunny Day again, predicting Will to use Rain Dance. And so you just have Rain Dance and then Sunny Day, and then the weather is slipping back and forth, and then Koraidon would still have the weather advantage. But again, the big question is, how are you going to KO this Zacian? It looks like there's not even going to be an attempt. There's just going to be a taunt into the Tornadus. Let's see what the Zacian went for. It didn't Terrestrialize, so it's not Terra Blast Ground, just Behemoth Blade. So no committal. Deciding I'm not going to mess with whether or not this Koraidon Terrestrializes. I'm just going to throw some damage off of the Torn. But let's see if this is going to be worth it. Collision Course lands into the Zacian. That's going to do a bunch of damage. Is that going to be in KO range of Bleak Wind Storm? That's the question. It does hit on both. Oh, but not enough. The Zacian does hang on. The Zacian now in KO range of Rocky Helmet, importantly, so not inclined to attack into that Tornadus. But yeah, that's a pretty clutch survival. Now the Zacian is still threatening that Play Rough into the Koraidon. And Bleak Wind Storm can be used to pick up the remaining bit of damage onto the Tornadus as well. So let's see what happens. Actually, just a Rain Dance. So won't this set up for a Bleak Wind KO if Play Rough lands into the Koraidon? Well, there is that Play Rough into Koraidon. This Tornadus has to go for Bleak Wind Storm. It has no other attacking moves. Bleak Wind Storm will come out, and that's a double KO. So this Koraidon Zacian dance of each of them protecting and weather going up looks like has ended up in Erika's favor. Although Rain is up and Tornadus likely isn't going to be able to get Sunny Day off unless Tornadus switches in and out, it might have been good enough. The Koraidon does have a speed boost still, and I think there's not too many turns of Tailwind left. I'm not sure. There's either one or two. I guess this Urshifu coming out is a big deal. Maybe you should switch out the Koraidon. Ooh, that's risky. If Surging Strikes lands into that, if Surging Strikes lands into that Koraidon slot, you could just be losing all of your Koraidon at once. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lock-in of Surging Strikes as well, given that the rain is up. Close Combat would be more neutral, but Close Combat risks heavily on just losing the 1v1 to Flutter main. If you lock into Close Combat, then now both the Regidrago and Urshifu can't really do anything to a back Flutter main, so I imagine this is Surging Strike, so we'll see what happens. The Regidrago starts off with a Terrestrialization, go for a Terra Dragon, so nothing on Erika's team can survive that, except for the Flutter main. And looks like Will's wanting to use that Terrestrialization to the fullest. Yeah, this Terrifier, actually, regardless of the Surging Strikes, I don't think it's going to impact the Dragon Energy. I pick up a knockout. That's Dragon Maw boosted. That's Terra boosted. That's Life Orb boosted. This Dragon Energy is going to do a whole heap and lot of damage. And it is that Surging Strikes into the Koraidon. So, yeah, that Terrestrialization kind of getting blown and not really getting anything for it. Tornadus is also going to get felled. I wonder, again, if the Koraidon potentially switching out and saving itself to set Sun later could have been the play. Perhaps putting Flutter Mane by it, but we'll never know. The Dragon Energy GG does come out and does pick up a knockout on Tornadus. Critical hit. Hugely important, of course, there. Pick up that low HP Tornadus. Regidrago will take some chip damage with Life Orb as well. So Tailwind's gone. Let's see what the last Pokemon are. It is that Flutter Mane, but yeah, that's the downside of not saving that Sun. Now the Flutter Mane is just going to be felled in a single Surging Strike with this Rain Up. And so it's going to come down to these Urshifu versus Urshifu. And I think it might depend on if Close Combat gets a critical hit into the opposing Urshifu. I don't really see how else you're going to bring this one back, because if you lock into Close Combat, then Surging Strikes will surely do enough damage next turn into the Urshifu. So I think with some smart targeting here, Will should have this game locked up. Locking into Surging Strikes, I think, was the best play Will had available. I imagine there, again, if maybe a Dark-type Urshifu had been sacked off, maybe we'd have a Flutter Mane and Koraidon endgame situation here. It is faster with Close Combat, but no critical hit. That's not going to be enough to knock out the Urshifu, which means that Surging Strikes will get a KO somewhere, and it is into the Flutter Mane. This Urshifu in the rain is so strong that it only needs 2 Surging Strikes in order to pick up these one-hit KOs with its powerful signature attack. Regidrago now has a free attack. Looks like it goes for Draco Meteor. Not worrying about its HP. Not worrying about accuracy. Draco Meteor will easily pick up a knockout on the Dark-type Urshifu after the Close Combat special defense drop. So a really high-octane set. But both games kind of turned out to work the same. Will got speed control, and by using faster Pokemon was going to be able to just blow through Erika's team. So lots of speed control action there in that battle. The interaction between Zacian and Koraidon was pretty cool too. So Will now advance to 2-0, and Erika will be at 1-1.